All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Speed Gaming fans around the globe. Hopefully you all have had your pancakes today. These racers are going to be grabbing some pancake at some point during this race. This is GT Classic. I'm WX Fan 21, joined by Nobody Nada. What's up, Nobody?
Hello, hello. Not much. How about you?
Doing fantastic. I got my dinner in front of me, I'm still munching on, and we have a fantastic game one to sink our teeth into here. ptoil, he's on the left, Glove, she's on the right. This is going to be fun. GT Classic. But of course, first, before we even get to any of that, it's going to be off to the series station.
Yeah, so if anybody's not familiar with the format of this tournament, this is the Super Metroid multi-category tournament, which, as the name suggests, means that there's multiple categories involved, and the runners don't know what category they'll be running until just before they start. The format is there are 7 categories in the running, and each runner gets to veto one category. So ptoil has vetoed low percent ice, and Glove has vetoed GT max percent. And then ptoil got to pick for game 1. He picked GT Classic. Glove will get to pick for game 2. And then if we go to a game 3, then the category will be randomly chosen from the remaining, which are any percent, reverse boss order, North Korea percent, or 100%.
Very nicely said, Nada. This is going to be very frustrating for me as a commentator, having to literally call my commentator Nobody when clearly I'm talking to somebody. So this is not going to be a complete, confusing at all. But we're glad all of you are here watching this multi-category tournament. This is such a very unique tournament that I am so glad and privileged to be a part of commentating with. As you all know, I typically commentate a lot of randomizer races for Super Metroid, Metroid Prime 1. Being able to flex my commentary muscles and getting used to see all of the different categories here, Nada, is really, really a pleasure. And obviously, commentating a lot of rando, I'm familiar with Glove, somewhat familiar with ptoil, and throughout a lot of these races, we have about 30 people competing in this tournament. Yes, there may be some of the bigger names, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because in a race format, anything can happen. We've seen that already in this tournament. In just certain categories, you take an unfortunate, Samus takes an unfortunate death somewhere, Phantoon's a royal pain in the rear end, I know, what else is new? But you have things like that, and it really creates for an interesting environment and an interesting atmosphere. One last piece of housekeeping. You see Glove, she's hanging out with us in Twitch chat. Because this isn't a randomizer race, the racers are allowed to keep an eye on the restream. So nobody's breaking any rules. So I'm looking forward to this. But of course, before we get to any route decisions, gotta get our more full.
Yeah. One other thing that's you kind of hinted at this a little bit, but one of the things that makes this multi-category tournament so interesting is just the volatility of it, because a lot of these runners will have very different amounts of time and experience that they've spent with the different categories. So, like, you could see one runner has maybe one runner has spent a lot of time practicing GT Classic and has a really strong route and set of strategies that they use, where the other runner has only ever completed a couple runs of it. And so even like just how much time they've spent with the game or how much time they've spent with the category doesn't matter as much when there's 7 categories involved, because it
Absolutely.
can change so drastically from one game to another.
An entire race, if racers are dead even, could literally come down to RNG. It could come down to Phantoon RNG. It could come down to Ridley RNG, Dragon RNG. It could come down to any of it. There is so much that can happen in a race format. But if you're familiar with GDQ, and I know a GDQ is right around the corner, Orb! Get
Ooh,
those
pink
orbs
and
in Twitch
yellow.
chat. Get the orbs in Twitch chat. Alright, let's start talking about the routing decisions here, Nobody. Because I think the biggest piece of this that everyone has to understand is the amount of items we're going to see for GT Classic very, very small before we actually get to initiate the GT code, which we'll get to that when we get to Lower Norfair. But
Yes, indeed.
this
So
particular
for
piece, routing, we're going to be looking pretty much the same thing as like an any percent route, with the exception of opening the Meridia tube early, and the fact that we're going to unequip Spazer instead of Wave Beam. A lot of different things here. The big thing too, and I'm not sure what these runners are going to do. Do any of these runners get those high jump boots before Lava Dive?
we will see. And given that it's, bootless lava dive is pretty tricky, and especially in a race setting, like you might not want to risk losing the run
I'd go
into
for the
it.
safety. I would
But
go for the safety.
yeah, if either of these runners has spent a lot of time with GT Classic and is really confident in that, then we could indeed see a bootless lava dive.
All right. Well, it's time for everybody's favorite to fight. That's the Bomb Torizo fight. Everyone looks forward to this in every single run. If you can't hear the sarcasm, I apologize. I'll try making the sarcasm louder next time.
Yeah. You'll notice a difference in these runners' setups here, because ptoil, I believe, does not play with Moonwalk. So he isn't going to do the pixel perfect setup, aligning in Morph Ball, because that setup's a lot trickier. It's hard to position Samus to a specific pixel if you can't Moonwalk.
Yeah.
So his setup is just a little bit slower because BT takes an extra step before he jumps, but it's not a big difference at all.
Right. And so MM2 NES cartridge, who I thought you were going to say is the real reason we're all here for this tournament, because we all know how fantastic MM2 is, but I digress. MM2 puts a little bit of knowledge in Twitch chat as well. Bootless and save is roughly the equivalent of boot full and no save. And that's another thing with this GT Classic is you're going to have your energy tank, you're going to have your missiles. Make sure you don't die prior to getting the lava dive, because once you get the GT code and that's inputted, look, pretty easy, right? You're gonna get plenty of energy tanks, plenty of ammunition, you get your beams. The only thing you're gonna get after the GT fight is screw attack, right? Pretty easy once you input the GT code. But it's getting to that point. Racers are doing Fantoon and all that
No
fun
Fantoon.
stuff.
Great,
Right, no Fantoon. My bad. Craig, we need the Varia suit for lava dive. My bad, wrong boss. But I think it's really interesting to see here how these racers are going to go about it. Now, notice on ptoil's side, didn't get the drops that he needed at all. Glove, she is flying. And Glove is somebody, if you're not familiar with her, I think, in my opinion, she's one of the more underrated speedrunners in the community. And she right now is showing off some outstanding movement tech. She is flying.
Yeah, Glove is an extremely strong player, both at randomizers and at speedruns. Just very good movement and very good strats across the board.
Absolutely. And Peter, like I said, I don't know much about him. I've seen him in some instances as well, so this could be a nice showcase for him as well here. And look, I'm just here for the Super Metroid. I'm here to commentate, here to bring you all the hype and break down everything else. But listen, this is a really good matchup. And again, if you're not familiar with these people in the Super Metroid community, join the community. Not only is the game one of the greatest games of all time, that this game's been around for 30 years, we're literally here in 2025 and entering its 31st year, and we have almost 100 people watching 2 people speedrun a 31-year-old game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I was curious.
Everyone in the Super Metroid community, very warm, very welcoming, from all the top runners to everyone in between, all the way down to those of you that just want to get involved. Everyone is all sorts of fantastic, and I would highly encourage you, if you want to play. I mean, heck, there was a a streamer that picked this game up for the first time, and I saw it posted in the Super Metroid speedrunning Discord. Bunch of people showed up to cheer that person on. Right? Like, this is a community. A lot of people start knowing each other. Heck, I started getting involved in randomizers. Though, again, selfishly, with all due respect to our SM friends, I'm going to be actually speedrunning myself as soon as I can get my 4K Elgato thing to work. I'll be speedrunning Ratchet and Clank at Crack in Time, and then I'll probably eventually get in. Like, SM inputs are really interesting. You gotta have fast fingers, you gotta have crazy, insane inputs, and it takes a lot of practice, like it does with any speedrun. But remember what I told you here, nobody, about how ptoil can show up? Ptoil, who was, again, like you said, a Bomb Teresa, was, you know, didn't moonwalk, didn't utilize it here. But to be able and start catching up to Glove at this point, insane.
Yeah,
So
ptoil has made up quite a bit of time from that mishap that happened with the Zila drops before early supers. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this race turns out. I looked up the leaderboards because I was curious about that, and I saw that Glove's PB for this category is a 36:22, and ptoil's PB is a 36:06. So we could be looking at a very close race, but there's a caveat there. And it's that Glove's PB is from November of 2024, and ptoil's PB is from 2021. So it's possible, like, it's hard to know what that means just looking at times, but it is possible that ptoil might have been running this category for longer and might know more of the, like, category specific tricks involved.
For sure.
So we might end up seeing that as like, even though Glove has shown a lead on movement in early game, we might end up seeing some difference in strats or execution as the route, like, starts to diverge more from the standard any percent looking route.
Can we also just say what a beautiful quick raid kill from Glove and quick raid kill from ptoil? Ptoil about 15 seconds behind Glove at this point. Actually, no.
No DLC today.
Yeah, no DLC. About 10 seconds behind for ptoil. And Glove says in chat, I don't know anything about GT Classic LMAO. Yeah, okay. Glove?
Yeah, so it might be that Glove picked up this category just for this tournament, which it's definitely possible to do. Like, most of I practiced a couple of GT Classic runs when I was thinking about entering the tournament myself, and, like, you can definitely get by with any percent knowledge plus Glove's randomizer knowledge, knowing how to X-ray bosses. Most of the rooms still have strats that work at least reasonably well and are decently fast, even without having spent a ton of time practicing this specific category. So, again, I think it's going to be really interesting how this match plays out between them.
Yep. Also, we want to give a special shout out to Shenrir for the almost 400 person raid. We appreciate it. Hope you all had a great stream. And now here we go. Glove is going to take the safety of those high jump boots. And now we're getting closer and closer to the end of what will be the most challenging portion of the run. And ptoil is going to elect to actually get that energy tank on the way out, which is totally fine. So, nobody. This entire race could come... Now, remember how I mentioned RNG? There's one big piece of this race. Green gate glitch. Green gate glitch.
Yeah. WX fan, since we got that big raid, I'm guessing that there's probably a lot of people watching right now who aren't super familiar with this category and with how the GT code works. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Oh, okay. I don't know who's the professional broadcaster here, me or nobody over here. That was a beautiful transition. Outstanding. A+. So, yes. GT Classic code, not to be confused with the classic Konami code, is once these racers... It's basically a race to get Varia, a race to get into Lava Dive. That Lava Dive portion is where we're going to get up. They're going to go take a save up right before the Ridley elevator. And then you're going to hit Green Gate Glitch through Ripper Road, Screw Attack Room. When you're in Screw Attack Room, right across from the Teresa, as you enter the door into Golden Teresa Room, you're gonna hold down all the face buttons. Don't ask me why, but it triggers a glitch of some sort, and you get like, what is it, like 53% of the items or something like that?
Yeah, 54, I believe. There's
50,
a bit of
54.
debugging code left in the game where if you're holding the right button combination when you enter Golden Teresa's room, then the game basically gives you all the items you're expected to have for that boss fight, even if you haven't picked them up on the way. So, oh,
Again,
Glove took
I
a
don't-
hit from the Namihe. It looks like she's going to redo her entrance into this room. Her health is a little bit scary, and I believe she didn't take a safety save.
ptoil
So-
also never grabbed the energy tank.
Right, but he did take a save.
Right. So,
So it looks like Glove has to go and farm for more health, because
luckily
a
there's
save,
a farm
then-
room around the corner. But now this gives ptoil that opportunity.
ooh, Ptoil took a couple hits from the spikes there.
ptoil, yeah.
It looks
And
like
this
Ptoil did end up skipping high jump boots, so I think Ptoil is doing the. Well, maybe I'm misreading the map.
Luckily took a safety save. But that was the Bubble Mountain safety save.
Okay, Ptoil does have boots, but no
Boots.
safety energy tank.
Nope.
Thanks, MM2.
All right, Glove, your turn. Let's see what happens. Through, no problem. Doesn't get hit by any of the fumes. Is down. And again, this is so incredibly precise. You're going to jump off one of the fumes onto the wall, and then wall jump up. Nicely done, Glove. But Glove isn't done quite yet. Gonna take the save here. Remember that green gate glitch I mentioned? Yeah, green gate glitch time. Something that we have seen in many runs before could cost a racer the race if they are ahead.
Yeah, so for anybody who's not familiar with this run, normally in order to get to Golden Teresa, you have to go through the room to the left, which has a statue that like breaks some blocks and lowers some acid. That statue doesn't work unless you have space jump. So in order to get to Golden Teresa, the only other way to do that is to go down here, where Glove is going, and do a
Get out, get out, get out!
missile
Nice!
shot.
Sorry,
That
I didn't
clips
mean to
through
cut
that
you
gate.
off. That was fantastic for ptoil.
Nice
Glove
second
is
try
through!
Gate glitch from Glove right as Ptoil finishes his lava dive.
That was
Ptoil is
beautiful.
also taking a safety save before that green gate glitch.
Yep.
And
Beautifully done.
Glove is just about to enter her Golden Teresa fight.
I didn't realize that statue doesn't activate without space jump. The more you know.
Yeah.
And there it is, GT code active.
Yep. Glove immediately opens her menu and turns off Spacer Beam. That's because the GT code gives you all 5 beams, and normally you're not supposed to be able to have Spacer and Plasma equipped at the same time. So if she just fired a shot, then the game would almost certainly crash immediately without turning off Spacer first.
Love is too powerful. The game wouldn't crash.
Yeah, you can avoid those crashes, but
No, ptoil.
oh no,
Green
Ptoil
Gate,
makes
but
it
got
through.
annoyed.
Yeah,
He got just bullied in Ripper Road.
he had only 22 energy coming out of Lava Dive, so he took 1 hit from a Ripper and fell in the acid, and that was GG's for him. Fortunately, he has that save right before Green Gate glitch, so it's not as bad a time loss as it could have been. Very nice
Still
fast pillars from Glove.
There is still a lot of race to go. Do not count ptoil out.
Yes, indeed.
Kissing Tun with the funny in Twitch chat. That room has prominently posted signs. No swimming!
Ptoil is through his green gate glitch again, and through
Beautifully done.
the rest of the room too.
Only taking
forget the
one
name of that
hit
room.
from the Rippers there, Nada. Only one hit.
Very nice, very nice.
And GT code activated. So the GT code will give you a total of 7 energy tanks, 100 missiles, 20 supers, and 20 power bombs. And you can't see it because of the glitch. Both racers have grapple and X-ray, as well as every other major in the game with the exception of Screw Attack, which you get after GT anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Because the
Don't make the
game...
mistake.
Right.
Don't make
like,
the mistake I did on my first GT code run and pick up Screw Attack first. Because if you do pick up Screw Attack before entering the GT code, then it actually takes away Screw Attack and you can't collect it again.
Interesting. So, an interesting thing to note, if you've never actually seen a Super Metroid run before, or seen the game before, and you're just watching for the first time, first of all, welcome. Second of all, where have you been the last 31 years? I'm kidding. Basically, the game is it makes you go Kraid first, Phantoon second, Dragon third, and Ridley fourth. In terms of story, in terms of progression, that's the way the developers intended you players, or all players, to go through. That's pretty much where it's at. So
Ridley's being a little bit mean to Glove there, but it looks like she's taking care of him, no problem.
Nicely done. So when it comes back to it, when you enter the GT code, it's like, oh, well, why does it give you all the items except for Screw Attack? Because you're not supposed to be fighting Golden Terizo until you've beaten the other 3 bosses. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Make sure you give these racers a follow, ! Are in the Twitch chat. Give them a follow, ! C if you want to follow the commentary team. And Glove right now is flying. Like I mentioned,
Ooh, that's a cool springboll strat for, I think that's a hundo strat there.
Yeah, Glove doesn't practice this category, okay.
Well, I mean, that's probably the optimal thing to do for this category, too. I don't know this category
Glove is
very
just...
well,
Glove's too
I've seen
OP
hundo
for
runners
this
do
game.
that as well.
Can you tell I'm a Glove fan? I enjoy commentating her races.
Yes,
She's just
indeed.
too powerful for this game.
ptoil starting his Ridley fight as well, just as Glove is entering into the Fireflies room.
Yep, there is also something we should mention about the Ridley fight. Whether you've watched speedruns or randomizer runs of this game, there is a way to manipulate Ridley's AI so you keep him closer down, does more pogos and stuff like that as well. Like, when I've typically fought Ridley, I don't know how to manipulate his AI enough yet, and I'm doing what ptoil did, jumping up, just shooting at Ridley and whatnot. I never quite knew how to manipulate his AI properly.
ptoil's got the strats down.
Yeah.
But Ridley was just a little bit mean to them there. He had a very clean opener, and the beginning of his fight was good. He was on track to save quite a bit of time over Glove over that fight, but then he got a couple of there was a missed shot or two and a really difficult to deal with pogo pattern that ended up sending the fight out of control for a little bit there.
And again, this is what we mentioned about the RNG earlier on in this run. It comes down to, again, when I mentioned Ridley RNG, it's not that, oh, well, it's Ridley. It's no. Ridley has a lot of patterns, and if you can't hit one properly, yeah, that's why. He can be all over the place. I mean, look, we've seen Dragon cause issues. How many swoops before Dragon actually calms down? Right? Like,
very nice wave and speedball from ptoil there.
Absolutely. And there's just so much that can happen. So Glove through Business Center, heading back into Meridia. One of the big things with a Dragon fight, and a little fun fact, we're not going to see it most likely here in this race, but when you're beating Dragon, you can't kill Dragon off screen. If the last hit on Dragon is off screen, it actually slows Dragon's death animation down, and it takes 18 minutes for Dragon to get back into position on screen to be able to finish off, and you can get out of the room.
Yeah, and hopefully we shouldn't have too much trouble with Meridia bosses here, because our runners do have X-ray, so they will be able to microwave those bosses.
Ah, the fun beam.
We'll see Batu in here in just 1 second. if you've ever played like the original NES Mega Man and fought the Yellow Devil and used that pause abuse trick where you get to just keep pausing and unpausing and the same shot will deal damage over and over again. Yeah, this is the exact same thing. We can fire a plasma shot that'll hit Batoon, and then by turning X-ray on and off repeatedly, like Batoon's iframes will still run out while X-ray is active, but the shot won't move. And so we can just keep that shot hitting Batoon repeatedly and kill Batoon in a single shot. We'll be able to do the same thing on Dragon in just a minute here.
Now, the reason for that is because the plasma beam does damage per frame. Hence why we call it
Yes.
the microwave beam, because of what nobody just said. And being able to do damage per frame. Beautiful full halfie from Glove. You're able to execute that, what we call a microwave beam, because you're starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping, etc. So now Glove into the Dragon fight. We're gonna see all these racers go ahead and beat those turrets on the side. You don't want them annoying you throughout the fight.
Yeah.
There are only certain bosses that are actually affected by that microwave beam trick. Dragon, Phantoon, Batoon. I believe that's it.
Yeah.
Croc doesn't count. Croc is a charged plasma shot. And there you go. Easy Dragon fight for Glove. Now Glove looking for that blue suit or spike suit. Not able
Doesn't
to
quite get a spike suit, unfortunately. Meanwhile, ptoil is about to do his Batoon microwave. One thing you might have noticed if you were paying close attention is that our runners, when they're killing Dragon with microwave beam, they'll crouch, and the reason for that is that when Dragon dies, it forces Samus to be standing, and if you're crouching while microwaving Dragon, then that makes a very obvious cue for when Dragon is dead, and you can stop microwaving, so you don't sit there wasting your time microwaving Dragon longer than you need to.
Good to know. See, these are things I was not sure of. So nicely done.
Yeah. Ooh, very nice full halfie from ptoil there.
Beautiful double full halfies from both racers.
Very nice. And to answer the question in chat, the 18-minute wait for Dragon is much worse than the baby grab and a door transition. That only loses you about 40 seconds because you just have to get to the save room and reset. The exception there, though, is that it is possible to get, I believe it's frame perfect if your health decreases to 1 right as the door transition happens, then you end up soft locked in the next room. So it is possible to completely soft lock with that baby grab, but that's pretty uncommon. Very nice microwave from ptoil. You saw that crouch into the forced stand there. ptoil is going for spike suit as well. Let's see if he can get it. That would be an opportunity to make us up some time. Unfortunately not.
Nicely done, though. ptoil. Again, like, this is a ptoil, I don't want to say coming up race, but ptoil is making a stamp on how good he is as a Super Metroid speedrunner.
Yeah, Glove pointing out in chat that if not for the death at Lava Dive and the other death in with the Rippers, then ptoil would be ahead right now. So he's playing very well. His movement is phenomenal.
Also, the humility
look at that! Look at that bounce ball strat through Batoon's hallway there.
The humility from Glove to tell us to keep boosting up ptoil is fantastic. Nice short charge there from ptoil as well. We're giving love to you both. I just said this let the ptoil not like coming out but making a statement race here.
Yeah, GT Classic is a rather difficult race to keep track of on commentary because it's so fast. There's just so many things that happen one after another. It's lava dive, gate glitch, and then a boss rush, basically.
A fast speedrunning category? What?
Well, not just fast in terms of time, but like there's just so much going on constantly on both screens. It's every time you talk about something, you miss 3 other things. Glove is in a Fantoon fight right now, unfortunately getting a slow pattern, but is able to finish off the microwave in 1 round. We'll see how ptoil's fight goes up here in a minute. Oh, right. One of ptoil's previous races, he beat Botchboon too fast. And or rather, he exited the room too fast after beating Botchboon. If you don't let Botchboon's death animation play out completely and for the wall to completely break, then when you come back in the room later in the route, Botchboon will still be alive, and you have to fight him again if you made that mistake. So ptoil pointing out that this time he made sure to wait a little bit in that room before leaving so that he didn't accidentally leave Botchboon alive again.
A really nice high five there. I mean, this is... I love seeing this here. ptoil goes for a nice speedball and gets it. They are absolutely dominating right now. I love it.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what kind of Fantoon RNG ptoil gets here.
Yeah. I mean, Glove's kind of right. That if it wasn't for ptoil taking a death there, if it wasn't for ptoil's 2 deaths, ptoil would be most likely would be in the lead.
Yeah.
Because ptoil's movement is right on par with Glove's.
Yes, indeed. And he just made up about 10 seconds on that Fantoon fight right there, getting the fast pattern. And executing it very well, too. It's a lot harder than it looks to kill Fantoon with microwave.
There's an outside chance Glove could be on PB pace.
Ooh.
Also, well done.
Nice HBJ.
Comment in Twitch chat from Bluebird says that it's satisfying seeing Fantoon getting cooked. Yeah, that's fair.
If you look on ptoil's screen right now, you can see one of the coolest strats in GT Classic. It's that space jump across the moat into a speedball. Ah, doesn't quite get the springball jump across the moat, but that's such a satisfying trick.
Very nicely done. ptoil says miss the jump. Disconnect, F, forfeit. I'm kidding. Nicely done. Making use of all the speed tech. Alright, here we go. In the Torian at 31 minutes for Glove. I don't know if this will end up being a PB. This will probably end up being about 37, if I had to guess, a 38-minute run. The Mother Brain fight takes about 4 to 5 minutes. Just because of the cutscene and the different phases from Mother Brain. It'll be close, though. What can still happen? It is a race. But Glove
yes,
is
indeed.
in prime
And
position.
There's still baby skip. There's still stand-up glitch. There's a few different spots that either runner could lose a significant chunk of time or even soft lock. So
another glitch? No. We already used a major glitch. What do you mean we can use another one?
Stand-up glitch isn't a major glitch.
It was more of a joke. Love, the baby just wants a hug! Let the baby hug you!
Oh, that looks good. Very nice skip from Glove.
The baby wants to hug Samus. It is its mother. But nice baby skip.
At this point, Glove has a pretty significant lead. So if Mother Brain 1 goes well, and if Zeb Skip goes well, she might end up deciding not to go for stand-up, just for the safety against the soft locks. We'll see what she decides to do here.
We will.
Very nice Zeb Skip.
Yeah, that was the ice Zeb Skip, for sure. I'd say ptoil is about a minute 15 behind. Which, all things being considered, is fantastic. So no safety save for Glove. Again, she's just too powerful for this game. ptoil is getting ready to teleport to Mother Brain to make this a more interesting fight. I mean, race.
ptoil is just about to do his baby skip.
Let's see how ptoil does. 20 charged plasma shots on Glove's side to beat Mother Brain 2.
ptoil is going for a bomb spread stashier skip. Very nice. Love to see that. Good first 2 jumps.
3.
Oh, that piece of moss. Nice.
Nice.
I think we're good.
Beautiful stashio skip.
Yes. Nicely done.
All right.
Looks like Glove is going for stand-up glitch. She had to use her reserves there in order to fill up to the correct amount of health.
Tell us about
taking
stand-up
that rainbow
glitch.
beam hit. So the thresholds for your health and for when Mother Bean will decide to attack you with rainbow beam are a little bit funky. And if you have enough energy, it's possible to retain control of Samus during this baby cutscene. And that lets you do a couple of things, but the most important is that you can continue to deal damage to Mother Brain's third phase during this cutscene. So after she sits down, after the baby detaches, then the game sets up her health for the third phase of the fight, and we can just start shooting Mother Brain and getting some damage in early and speed up, almost entirely skip the last phase of the Mother Brain fight. So as you can see there, like the baby is trying to refill Samus and being slightly confused by Samus not being in the normal spot, but eventually figuring it out. And meanwhile, Glove is able to fight Mother Brain while the baby is refilling her health.
This is where the soft lock could come in. Nice explanation, by the way, now.
Right. There's a couple ways that this can go wrong. The most common one is for you to accidentally move the baby out of position somewhere where Mother Brain can't hit her. But it looks like Glove is through that soft lock risk. And the other risks involve like potentially slow locking when you get hyper beam. But it looks like Glove knows what to do there, not holding a charge shot at the wrong time. And very nice fight.
Only 4 hyper beam shots to finish off Mother Brain. Very nicely done. ptoil is going for the safety. Oh no, ptoil also going.
ptoil going for stand-up.
ptoil had the double zeros and completely threw me off.
Yeah, ptoil is
blue bomber,
doing some...
maybe. Oh, she went for
almost.
it. She went for blue bomber.
Very nice attempt, and it was very close.
Nice
just
try,
off the wall at the side there.
Nice try. It's very nicely done. Blue bomber is basically you retain Samus in her blue suit and can break speed blocks while in it. Let's see how ptoil does on stand-up. Beautiful. Shine spark up blue tower. I call it blue tower even though it's climb tower. It's blue! We have green tower, we have red tower, that's blue tower! Oh, ptoil might have this. One,
yep,
two.
ptoil's through his stand-up.
One hyper beam battle!
Yep, that's a perfect stand-up for ptoil. Glove has finished the race with an official race time of 37 minutes and 11 seconds.
BG's Glove.
ptoil is just about to start his escape.
ptoil wins the stand-up. I mean, come on. That was a picture-perfect stand-up glitch. And he might have had it. He missed one shot at the end. The hyper beam activated just before he could get off the last plasma shot. That was about as good as you could get it. And
nope, that was actually
blue bomber.
Very nice. Let's go.
Let's go.
ptoil stand-up was actually perfect. You can't kill Mother Brain with plasma. That last shot needs to be hyper beam. So that was as good of a stand-up as you could possibly get.
Fantastic. I thought you could. I must have missed the one hyper beam shot in the other race I watched. So my bad. So ptoil with a perfect stand-up glitch. Again, this was
perfect stand-up
ptoil's
glitch, Blue Bomber,
Yep.
Behemoth Spark. Very nice terrain from ptoil.
Yep. Beautifully done. Is ptoil going to save the animals? Oh. Save the animals. All right, and we're gonna find out what the next category is. Glove wins game. Game number 1. Game number 2 is coming up next. Nobody. What'd you think of that race there overall as we get things set up for game number 2?
I thought it was an excellent race. Great movement from both runners. And it's unfortunate about the deaths from ptoil, but coming in just a minute 25 behind, taking 2 deaths and resets is very strong play on ptoil's part. So GG's to him, GG's to Glove, and I'm excited for the next race.
Likewise.
It looks like our runners will be taking a 5-minute break. So we will see you in a few minutes.
We'll see you then.